Phase 2 of the East 64th Street project will soon be taking place. There's a way for you to collect information about birds in our area, and a local nonprofit is helping students advance after graduating high school. All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Hi, and welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. I'm Angie Foster. The Center for Disease Control is concerned about the number of fake COVID vaccination cards because they can be a public safety risk and they are illegal. The Washington State Legislature is considering a bill that would make it a Class C felony to sell or offer false documentation of a vaccination. Presenting a false card would be a misdemeanor. Fraudulent cards can be reported to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of the Inspector General by submitting a report online or by phone. The Washington Attorney General's office is also accepting complaints by its normal process, and complaints can be filed against the provider who issued the fake card by visiting the Washington State Department of Health. With the hiring of Tacoma's new police chief, Avery Moore, interim police chief Mike Akey will wrap up a successful career of over 30 years with the Tacoma Police Department. He was born in South Korea and became a U.S. citizen at the age of 10. After graduating the Law Enforcement Academy in 1989, Chief Akey started in patrol and quickly rose through the ranks of sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and assistant chief. He was named interim police chief in January of 2021. While working at the department, he has also been serving as a senior leader in the Army National Guard. Chief Akey is an Afghanistan and Iraq combat veteran with several commendations, including the Army Bronze Star and the Tacoma Police Department's Certificate of Merit and Distinguished Service Medal. Following his retirement from the department, he will continue to serve the community through his work in the National Guard. The City of Tacoma thanks Chief Akey for all of his service and wishes him the very best. The community is invited to attend library visioning workshops for Hilltop and Eastside Library Services. Events are going on now through February 10th, with some events being in person and some being held virtually. The Tacoma Public Library is looking for the best way to restore library services to the Eastside and Hilltop neighborhoods. Library staff, consultants, and architects will be present at these visioning workshops, and ideas provided through initial surveys and interviews will be shared, and staff will be working with the community to bring these ideas a step closer to reality. For more information on these events, visit tacomalibrary.org. Since 1983, the nonprofit organization Palmer Scholars has been helping young people obtain success after high school. The group works with students of color throughout the Pierce County area who come from a low-income background.
We have two primary initiatives. One is our legacy program, where we recruit high school juniors. They participate in about 18 months of post-secondary readiness training, covering a variety of topics to help them navigate life after high school, match them with a mentor, provide scholarship funding and additional stipend support, and follow them all the way through post-secondary program completion. Our second initiative is really an intentional focus on supporting young adults who might be interested in a career in the trades. So we're really trying to break down that false narrative that a four-year university or a four-year degree is the only pathway to success. For these young adults, we grab them between the ages of 18 and 24, put them through a pretty condensed version of the post-secondary readiness training. It's a pretty intensive process over about 14 weeks, and they learn all of the ins and outs of different careers in construction trades, get a lot of training on employability skills, also have mentorship opportunities, provide financial supports. So the same type of supports we provide to students in our legacy program. But overall, we are a post-secondary success program, and we help students identify what the best fit pathway is going to be for them and then support them along that path.
Over 600 students have been able to achieve success after high school thanks to the Palmer Scholar Program. Those that have been helped know the value of their organization in more ways than one.
For Palmer's, it's more than a scholarship. Like, it's the up to $5,000 a year. That's amazing, and it's super helpful in so many ways, and the stipend helps in so many ways. But honestly, that is not even the thing that I think about when I think of Palmer's. For me, it's about the support and the connections and the resources that are offered. first and foremost, you're offered all of these things as a junior. So you kind of get a little bit of a head start. You can set yourself up in a great way for your senior year. When you're applying for college, you already know the college access, admissions jargon that they throw at you when you're applying for college. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming experience. And I think that was one of the biggest benefits for me as a senior. It wasn't overwhelming because I knew what I was walking into. I had some things prepared, and I just felt really confident going into that, and really confident going into my senior year, applying for college and getting into college. And so I would say, like, as a young person thinking about Palmer's, it's extremely beneficial because it's not even just about 4 years. It's not just about university. You can do whatever you want with your life in higher ed and post high, and Palmer's will be there to support you in your choice, whether that's like a 4-year, a 2-year, or trade school.
More information about this amazing program can be found by going to the Palmer Scholars website. The city's Public Works Department is holding a virtual open house to share more on the East 64th Street Phase 2 Improvements Project. The event is taking place on Thursday, February 10th at noon via Zoom. This phase will focus on East 64th Street from East McKinley Avenue to Portland Avenue East. The project will replace pavement, upgrade curb ramps to meet ADA requirements, install bike facilities connecting Pacific Avenue to Portland Avenue, and more. To find out more about this project and to register for the open house, visit the city's website. The Tacoma City Council recently confirmed the recommendation of the Landmarks Preservation Commission to designate the Henry J. and the Nettie Craig Asbury House a city landmark. Built in 1887, the house is a remaining example of the initial settlement of Tacoma's emerging hilltop neighborhood, but its major significance comes from it being the longtime residence of Henry Joseph and Nettie Craig Jones Asbury from 1903 until 1966. The Asburys were influential community advocates and iconic leaders in the Black community, both locally and regionally. They were founding members of the Tacoma chapter of the NAACP and the Tacoma Cities Association of Colored Women's Clubs. As part of the 2021-23 biennium budget, the Washington State Legislature awarded the Tacoma City Association of Colored Women's Clubs an appropriation to acquire the historic Asbury home site for future renovation and public benefit. It's almost time for the 25th annual Great Backyard Bird Count, which will be taking place February 18th through the 21st. It's a great way to find out what types of birds we have in our community.
For at least 15 minutes, for at least one day during those 4 days, people are encouraged to look out into their backyard and count the number and species of birds that they see. So you can do it 15 minutes or the whole day. And if you go to birdcount.org, there's some really great instructions on there. They encourage you to use an app called the Merlin app, which can help you identify the birds that you're seeing. And then once you see those birds, you put them into a database called eBird, and there's an app for that as well. And then that data goes to the Cornell Lab of Ornithology and the National Audubon Society. And so what happens is this is actually a global community science event. So during that weekend, we are creating the largest global snapshot of where birds are and what type of birds are in these areas. So it helps us to inform some scientific data as far as the environment, changes in the environment, and it helps us to conserve and protect the spaces that the birds are frequenting during these times. And like I said, it kind of just informs a lot of our bird research.
To find out more information about the Great Backyard Bird Count or about the Tacoma Audubon Society, visit them online. Tacoma Creates is a voter-approved initiative to increase access to arts, culture, heritage, and science experiences throughout Tacoma by reducing barriers to access and expanding offerings, particularly for undeserved youth. 57 organizations were funded in the inaugural year of Tacoma Creates, Washington's first and only cultural access program. These organizations created a total of 412 programs, approximately 2/3 of which were produced for the general public and the remaining 1/3 were for youth education programs. To download a copy of the full annual report and to learn more about Tacoma Creates, visit tacomacreates.org. The management representative position of 4-year volunteer commitment is now open on the Tacoma Civil Service Board. The civil service system extends civil service protections and coverage to the majority of the City of Tacoma's workforce. Details on this and other volunteer opportunities on the city's committees, boards, and commissions are available at cityoftacoma.org/CBC. And finally, the city recently presented the 34th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration. This year's event theme was Hope and Healing. As part of the program, the city's Events and Recognitions Committee honored Gail Neal with the Lifetime Service Award and Latasha Ware with the Emerging Leader Award. Mayor Woodards also presented special recognitions to Candace Wesley and posthumously to Tracy L. Davis. The event can be viewed at tvtacoma.com under Special Presentations and on the city's YouTube channel under the Special Presentations playlist. For links to the event and more, visit the city's website. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report. A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Angie Foster. Thanks for watching.